Movie rumors are nothing new. In fact, it seems like every week there's a new story about what may happen in the next major cinematic release. And these rumors vary greatly in believability. It could be something simple and plausible, like how Ethan Hawke may be cast as Doctor Strange in the upcoming movie. Or it could be something completely ludicrous, like how in Star Wars Episode 7, the whole plot is going to be about them finding Luke Skywalker's hand. Nowhere is this more rampant than with the Marvel movies. In fact, it's so rampant that every time someone comes up to me and tells me a rumor they heard that I know can't be true, it takes every ounce of strength I have to just sit there and nod politely instead of going, Let's start with the small, more reasonable rumors and then work our way up to the ones I find completely ridiculous. Most recently, Robert Downey Jr. confirmed that Iron Man 4 is a go. I put confirmed in air quotes because basically Ellen coerced him into saying that. He later backtracked, of course, and said that there's no script for Iron Man 4, but Marvel does seem to have a plan. Didn't say what that plan was exactly. And honestly, I believe him when he says this. We all know Marvel is very secretive about what they're working on. At present, we definitely know that they're working on Avengers 2 and Ant-Man. That's pretty much it. They do have a schedule of what's coming out in the future, but typically they're only really working on 1 to 2 films at a time. And after Avengers 2, Downey's only signed on to be in Avengers 3. So anything that happens after that isn't really in their minds, I don't think. As for Iron Man 4, I'm convinced it'll happen after Avengers 3 when Downey's contract is up. We'll get back to that. Next rumor, at the end of Age of Ultron, the Hulk will somehow get shot up into space, thus laying the groundwork for his next solo film based on the great Pack story, Planet Hulk. And no, just no, this is not happening. These are the US box office results for the 2 Hulk movies that came out in the 2000s. As you can see, they're almost identical. Neither left much of an impression with audiences, and more importantly, neither of them really made their budget back. So why bother to make another solo Hulk movie if nobody's interested and it's not going to make money? Yes, I know he was awesome in the Avengers, and Mark Ruffalo signed on for like 9 movies, I think, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get a solo film. Some characters really only work when they're part of a team. Martian Manhunter is an essential part of the Justice League, and any movie that doesn't have him in is gonna suck. But a Martian Manhunter solo film? I don't know if anybody wants to see that. Also, a Planet Hulk movie would require almost no Bruce Banner in it. And I don't know if Mark Ruffalo would want to be in a movie where 90% of the time he's covered up with CGI. Next, it's been rumored that the lineup for Avengers 3 will be drastically different than it is in Avengers 1 and 2. Specifically, Iron Man will be leading a new team of Avengers that doesn't involve Captain America or Thor. I highly doubt this is true. The trio of Thor, Cap, and Iron Man are the backbone of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. The whole point of the Avengers movies is to see these 3 people who had great solo films team up in one big film to fight evil people on an epic scale. Why would Marvel want to risk changing that? I'm sure we'll see new people on the team, but to say that Cap and Thor won't be a part of it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense from a business standpoint specifically. The only way I can sort of see this happening is if the Winter Soldier takes over for Captain America, but like Iron Man 4, I don't see that happening until after Avengers 3. And speaking of Avengers 3, the final rumor is that it will be subtitled and partially based on the 2006 comic story Civil War. To which I reply, no, it won't! Yes, I know the story was popular, and yes, I know the story was pretty good. I enjoyed it myself. But what makes people think it will be based on that story and not the 1991 story, The Infinity Gauntlet? Everything Marvel has done so far has been very clearly pointing towards that direction. We see the actual Infinity Gauntlet in the background of the first Thor movie. In Cap 1 and the Avengers 1, we see the Cosmic Cube. In Thor 2, we see the Red Ether. In Guardians of the Galaxy, they specifically say that that stone they're hunting is an Infinity Stone. Hell, why have Thanos in these movies if you're not going to do the Infinity Gauntlet? It looks like people are finally coming to grips with the fact that Avengers 3 won't be based on Civil War. Because now the internet speculation is that Captain America 3 will be based on Civil War. Which makes even less sense. Why would a story based on a conflict involving the entire Marvel Universe be regulated to a solo film? To not go into the effects that the Superhuman Registration Act has on everybody is just a waste of time. Plus, Civil War is specifically about a war between Captain America and Iron Man. You need those two together in the same film in order for that story to work. Plus, a major plot point is the fact that Spider-Man is caught in the middle of it, and without him, can you really do Civil War? Although, speaking of rumors, it looks like that's actually plausible now. So, of course, as soon as I'm done filming this episode, big news breaks about Captain America 3. So big, in fact, that I have to film the update now in my car on my lunch break with my phone. Because shut up. Basically what happened was, when I stopped recording, it was reported that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Captain America 3, reprising his role as Tony Stark, Iron Man. And that the film would, in fact, be based on Civil War. But a few things don't sit right with me on this. First off, it says it's going to lead into the events of Avengers 4, and that this will kick off the whole Phase 4 of Marvel's cinematic initiative. But Cap 3 is scheduled for May 2016, right in the middle of their Phase 3. And Avengers 3 is going to come out right after that, supposedly. And as I said previously, everything they're telling us is hinting that Avengers 3 is going to be Infinity Gauntlet. Second, Downey is reportedly getting $40 million for this role, plus a bit of the back end. Now, Marvel is notoriously cheap. They once offered Mickey Rourke $250,000 to take his role as Whiplash in Iron Man 2. Plus, there are a whole bunch of contract negotiations with Chris Hemsworth a few years back that weren't going very well at the time. While Downey is their highest paid star, $40 million is a lot of money that I don't think they're just going to spend on an actor, especially not the lead actor in the movie. Lastly, it appears that Captain America will either be subtitled Civil War or Fallen Sun, the comic book story that followed Civil War. That would make sense if Chris Evans' contract is up. This way they'll kill off Steve Rogers and have Bucky Barnes take the role of Captain America. But again, I just don't see that happening. Movie audiences are now used to Steve Rogers in the role for so long. To have someone else come on would just be jarring. And I don't know if Marvel would take that kind of risk. It's not like comics where things can change constantly. Anyway, I just had to add this update in because I know if I didn't, somebody else would. So, back to the show. Look, I know it's fun to speculate, and I'm not telling you not to do it. But I just want you guys to do it responsibly. These rumors are so prevalent and so obviously not true, but people are still holding on to them as fact. And I just don't want anybody to say this in the wrong crowd. Nerds can be very vicious people sometimes. As for what I think, well, pretty much everybody's contract is up after Avengers 3. So the smart thing to do would be for Marvel to take some time off and then recast everybody and start a whole new wave of Marvel movies. Not to completely reboot everything, mind you, but continue what was going on previously, just with a new cast. We gotta think of it like a new artist coming on to draw our favorite comic book. It's gonna look different from the last artist, but the essence of the character should still be there. It should still make for a good story. Unless, of course, they cast Carrot Top as Black Widow and then just f*** everything up. What do you guys think? What crazy-ass rumors have you heard about any movie? And what do you think Marvel's gonna do after Avengers 2? Let me know in the comments down below or on Facebook and Twitter. Also, we're on Instagram now, because why not? And as always, like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with your friends. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. If I have one major problem with comic books, it's that it can get really expensive to read and collect them on a regular basis. What started as a fun little diversion for kids that only cost about a nickel an issue has turned into big business that charges about $3 to $4 an issue.
Now, Will.
Yes, Bob.
I picked this because this is supposed to be like an old NES game.
Well, it looks the part, it sounds the part, even the font.
Yeah.